them for tuning into Cin's Workshop. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be reviewing Wish of the Wicked by Danielle Page. This is the same author who did Dorothy Must Die. And I have to say, I loved the first three novels of Dorothy Must Die. I feel like the fourth one was really just kind of a throwaway, but that's neither here nor there. Today, we are going to be looking into her new young adult fantasy that kind of follows the same themes, fairy tale retellings with a dark twist, but this time we're going to Cinderella's tale versus Down the Yellow Brick Road. And I have to say, I absolutely love this book. I didn't know where this book was going when I was reading it, and you're following Pharaoh. She's part of this kind of, I guess, coven, and they're called Entente, and they have three women who are in charge of it, who govern the past, the present, and the future. So Pharaoh's mentor is the one who sees the future, and they like to disguise themselves so that, the queen and people don't actually know their true identity. So they use magic to disguise themselves. And I think this is one of the funnest things about this. There's so many Easter eggs referencing all of the other fairy tales. I mean, right at the beginning, Pharaoh and her mentor disguise themselves as old crones. And the description just thinks Snow White. That's exactly her. Them at the end, and they go and they tell the queen, they're like, if you don't change your ways, your future is going to be an abysmal one. And of course the queen, she's not really happy about this. She was never a good person, poisoned her mother, killed her sister, not a good person. So unhappy with this prophecy, she declares the Entente enemies of the state, basically, and has them all hunted down and executed. Pharaoh thinks she's the last of her kind. She thinks everyone she knows and loved is, dead because her mentor bound her powers and hid her, seeing that this was coming. And it's just like a bam, the way the story progresses and how it evolves. And it was just so much fun to read. And Pharaoh, her quest is to get as close to the queen as possible and kill her. She wants to ruin her. She wants to destroy her. She wants her revenge, right? So she becomes part of this kind of courtesan training, Yeah, royal courtesans for the prince. And she's a second, so she's not a first. But she eventually takes the first place in the test and becomes the prince's first courtesan. And nothing goes exactly as planned for her. And then she discovers everyone she thought was dead is not dead. In fact, the guardian of present and her two mentees are now Cinderella's wicked stepmother and stepsisters. And it's just like, when I read that, I was like, holy hell. And everyone she knows has become quite twisted, and you can't blame them. But you're seeing the origins of all the fairy tales, classic villains, all of them. You're just like, oh my god, this is great. And I love how it goes. I love how it evolves. I love how we're seeing how revenge and simmering on it can just tarnish your soul. Because even though Pharaoh wanted revenge so badly, she wasn't willing to let go of her mentor's teachings. She wasn't ready to let go of the goodness. When she saw goodness in others, she wasn't going to reward it with malice. She was going to reward it with kindness and goodness, and that's why her and Ella bond. And it was so fun, and it kept me guessing. It kept me guessing as the story was going. I was just like, how is this going to continue? And then you're seeing all these origin stories of all classic Disney villains in here, and you're like, this is great. She's got her own little enchanted forest here. It's something out of Once Upon a Time. It is so well done and executed. I cannot wait to read the second book, which is already out, and I'm like, I need to read it, and I need to read it now, because it was so well done. It was really well executed. And I think Paige, you know, she does a really good job with her characterization, and she does a really good job with her world building. She does a really good job with throwing in Easter eggs here and there to reference classic Disney fairy tales in the animated movies. It really, really was such a fun novel. I can't wait to read book 2 to see what's going to happen next, because the prince is in love with Pharaoh. He ain't in love with Ella. And Pharaoh has become Ella's godmother, because her power isn't like everyone else's. Her power, she can't use it out of malice. She can only grant wishes, and she can only help. And you know what? I think that's really core to her identity, and I think that's why it was so good, because you're seeing how she manifests her power. She thought she was powerless. She thought she had no magic, until she discovers, well, if I'm using my magic to help someone else, I can do anything. And I think that speaks volumes, honestly. So, excellent book. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait to see what happens next. It was such a fun read. As always, I will include links in the description on where you can purchase the book or check it out yourself if you want to. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.